Halloween. Tons of fun. There's the little pedal for the kiddos, but they need to be safe, right? Courtney standing by with a pediatrician for some advice. Good morning.
I mean, because let's be honest, you have much more fun if you know that everybody's safe, everybody's taken
100%.
care of, right? It just makes the stress level go down. So we've got Dr. Amanda Mitchell with us this morning. She's a Kaiser Permanente Roseville pediatrician. Good morning to you, Dr. Mitchell.
Good morning, gang. Thanks for having me this morning.
Oh, fantastic to have you. Okay, so let's talk about, here's the thing. I want to talk about costumes because it's Throwback Thursday, and we were looking at some old school pictures from our viewers, sending these great costumes that were awful with the masks, right? Like you could barely see out of them, let alone breathe.
That's so true.
Right? But we got to do things to keep everybody safe and all that good stuff. So costumes is one thing, but that candy consumption, as a pediatrician, I know you have some thoughts.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the first things that I always think about candy consumption is that just like, you know how when you should never go to the grocery store hungry?
Right.
Well, it's the same thing when you're trick-or-treating, right? We want those kids to have a lovely meal before they get out there. So that they're not filling up their tummies with sugar right away. That
makes all the sense in the world, right? Okay, so now how about the safety when it comes to trick-or-treating itself, right? We're out there, you know, moms and dads are out with the kids and keeping an eye and stuff, but from your perspective, what would you say?
Yeah, I think the most important thing for me is that our little ghosts and goblins can see and are be seen and can be seen as well. So we want to make sure, you know, it's dusk. You want to make sure you've got a flashlight with you. You want to make sure that there's some reflective elements to their clothing. I love that you said about having a parent or an adult with them to keep them safe. Make sure you're looking both ways before crossing the street. All of those things to keep our little safe. Absolutely.
Okay, and so we're looking at this video of all these fun costumes. They've got props, they've got, you know, masks and all the fun things, even the little buckets and stuff to carry the candies with. What about costumes? We got to be careful with that part too.
Yeah, exactly. So just like you were mentioning earlier, I think one of the big things for me is that kids should be able to see through their masks. And so I like to troubleshoot their costumes, you know, in the days prior to game day, so to speak, so they should be able to see through their masks. There shouldn't be any pieces to their costume that are long or dragging or might catch so they could trip. I mean, they should feel comfortable and so that they can have just a great time trick-or-treating.
I like the idea of a test run, and something tells me the kids are not going to argue with you because they're probably going to want to sleep in their costumes anyway.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. And then what about those at-home celebrations? Because not everybody is going to actually go out trick-or-treating, right? They've got trunk or treats, they've got parties at home, other ideas as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because also for some of our little witches and wizards, it's just not practical to go outside. Maybe there's been a sports injury, someone's under the weather. And so, I mean, this is an opportunity. The world is your oyster to be creative at home. So like what our family did during the pandemic is we had a monster movie night. And so we made these super fun Halloween charcuterie boards and then watched some of our favorite movies. We actually did kind of like a monster movie marathon. Or you can do, just because you're not wearing your costume out and about, that doesn't mean you can't have like a costume fashion show at home.
Hello.
Yeah. And then you could also do, I like a good scavenger hunt. And so like having a nice Halloween scavenger hunt at home, solid fun without going outside.
Dr. Mitchell, you mentioned that you had a little Halloween charcuterie board. I'm nosy. What was on the board?
Oh, that's a great question. So, I'm a big fan of Halloween-shaped cookie cutters. You can use those for all sorts of different things, right? So you can use them for cheese, for watermelon. Persimmon would be a nice way to get some orange in your charcuterie board with some health and wellness. Things to consider.
I dig it. She is Dr. Mitchell with Kaiser Permanente in the Roseville area. We're going to link all the details so that you can find the Kaiser help that you need in your area by on our website, gooddaysacramento.com, under show info and today's date. Dr. Mitchell, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Oh, thank you so much. Be well, everybody.
You likewise. All right, back over to you.